This episode I wouldn't necessarily say was important or necessary, but then we got introduced to new characters as well as Sarada being annoying and, you know, a few things that have happened previously in the past which makes sense. So they are delving into more of the, you know, logical side and technical side of being a ninja, as well as what the Hokage deals with, right? So I'm going to be talking about every single, you know, thing in bullet points. So first of all, let's start with Hinata, right? The thing is that Hinata has to deal with a lot, right? Which is Naruto. Naruto is never there to hand in that dick, you know what I'm saying? So obviously she got cobwebs on that pussy, and the thing is that, you know, just because of that and because Naruto is neglecting her, like, she has this inner pain that she's hiding, and we even see it in the manga for those people who have read the manga, and in the novel too. Like, she actually has this inner pain that she's hiding, right? And the thing is, realistically, this is the reason why a lot of females actually cheats on, you know, their partners, because, you know, you're not handing over, you're not serving that dick, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna get it elsewhere. Like, Naruto just, you know, tries his best, but in the end it comes across as if he is neglecting his family, which he does because he has actually missed a lot of birthdays of Boruto, and most likely Himawari too, and, you know, very likely Hinata's too. So he's basically, you know, neglecting them, and I don't really blame him because he is Hokage, you know what I'm saying? He's gonna be very busy, so that's it. That comes with the job, and Hinata knew that this guy wanted to be Hokage, so, you know, she chose this path of life. And the same applies to Sakura, because her man isn't even there for her to see, you know what I'm saying? He barely comes to Konoha, and he has been neglecting her, not even sending her a letter. So Naruto and Sasuke's families pretty much have the same problem. And with Hinata, she has Himawari, who always is there to keep her company. With Sakura though, like, Sakura is very lonely to the point where I wouldn't be surprised if she actually created a shadow clone, got the shadow clone to hanging to Sasuke so she can fuck herself. She has Sarada, but Sarada is blunt and rude, so who would actually want her right next to them? And speaking of Sarada, don't worry, I got a lot for her in this review because her behavior is over the top. It's like, what the fuck are you doing, Sarada? Let's talk about the costume changes, shall we? Now, if we look at Sumire, I really like her new design. You know, it is respectful for her character, right? What the fuck happened to Denki? This nigga looks like a UPS man / Boy Scout delivering fucking cookies at my door looking ass. And then we have Metal Lee. All right, he looks okay. He got a new scarf, which is okay, you know. I wonder if there are weights in there. Wasabi looks alright. I mean, she's dressed for the winter looking as, but then again, that's fine, you know. And then fucking Iwabe looks like this nigga dressed to go club to pull some girls or some shit. I mean, you guys actually still think this guy is Kawaki, bruh. Like, he doesn't look like Kawaki at all. But, you know, Chocho is starting to wear lipstick at her age, so it looks like her insecurity has gone up a notch. And the thing is, if you really look at all these characters, these people are all dressed like they are going to a house party or something. Shit. And then we have bootleg Kakashi looking ass, who has covered his eyes for reasons which only God knows. And I like all the character designs because they do not look like the previous generation, which means, you know, or proves that we are watching a different type of show. Now let's get on to the little troll scene which they gave us, which is, you know, Sarada and the Boruto almost kissing, right? So they made it look like that to make people's hearts, you know, skip a beat, which it did for a lot of people, right? And then, you know, there was this thing on Twitter of people going around and, you know, trying to claim that it actually happened, even though they saw Sarada's feet. And the people are still in denial. But what makes me really angry is the fact that they had to go and contact the screenplay writer of this episode to actually, you know, ask him, and he had to multiple times state to these obsessive fans that Sarada did not kiss Boruto, and the only thing Boruto was kissing was her sandals. Don't get me wrong though, I could give a fuck less about who Boruto ends up with. Personally, if you were to ask me which of all the girls Boruto should end up with, I'd just say he's got to catch them all. And no, I'm not talking about STDs. My point is, a lot of these people are willing to harass the screenwriters of Boruto in order to get answers to their silly questions. Like, one person actually asked if Sumire was canon or not and was unhappy because the screenwriter said that Sumire was canon, and because they wanted Sarada to end up with Boruto and not Sumire, they were upset. And that is one of the main issues with, you know, anime. It's like people just join or watch a certain series just for the pairing purposes, and that's it. And the fact is, the creators actually created an entire story for you to enjoy enjoy that instead of just one little aspect within the story. Now, let's talk about Sarada in this episode, because in this episode, she was quite a bitch, okay? First of all, Sarada establishes herself to be very mature, but a lot of the things she does is very immature. So the first thing is she's very blunt, right, and most likely does not consider the feelings of the people whom she talks to, which is not mature at all. And because she puts on this facade of her being mature and smart, you know, it makes it very difficult for her to apologize and admit her mistakes. And after you tell her it's okay, then she gets angry, like, you know, the fishing episode in which they caught a big fish. Like, she had troubles admitting her mistakes. So definitely, even though she is trying to appear as mature, she is clearly not, since she is acting her age. She did mention something very important, which is synergy, and that is the number one thing I think that the teams need, because if the teams cannot work well together and they end up in a fight, they are going to end up losing and potentially dying if it's a, you know, real world scenario in their universe, because the team do not know how to combine their attacks to attack and evade effectively. And even though she has a point, her main issue is that she was partnered up with Boruto and not Mitsuki, because Mitsuki understands, you know, life and death. He understands the logical side of things and what to do and what not. But Boruto apparently leaves everything to chance. And even though that is true, you have to remember who is the main character of the show, okay? It is Boruto. Who is the person who actually got Sumire back without her losing her head or her life? It is Boruto. Who is the one who is responsible for the headband which is strapped on her head? It is Boruto. Who is the one who is responsible for leading everyone to victory and getting them these headbands? It is Boruto. Who is responsible for helping every single one of these people reach the point that they did? It is Boruto. This guy clearly has leadership skills, and the fact that Sarada cannot notice that this guy has leadership skills and has utilized them to the best ability of his, right, proves that she is still childish and does not consider everything. If anything, it is Sarada who has a lot to learn about Boruto. Even though he may leave things to a lot of chance, he still strategizes, and he never went into any fight that I have seen without any plan at all. It may be the case that his plans are not fully constructed before he launches them. However, he does do the one thing which is required of you to be a genin. He works together with somebody in order to achieve his goals, and that is why he is able to do all the things he has done up until now. He has that one thing that everyone needs in order to become genin. So if anything, it is Boruto who is the person who deserves to really become genin, even though he does not want to. She cannot come up and complain about Boruto about synergy, because Boruto has worked with a lot of the people in class who all have different abilities, and guess what, in the end they did strategize and come up with a plan, meaning that synergy is something that will not hinder Boruto, since he has leadership skills. He is able to adapt any person's ability into his plan to make sure it achieves success. Boruto even goes on to say that he doesn't mind Sarada being in the team, and even though Mitsuki baited him out by saying that he's lying, it shows the extent Boruto is willing to go in order to make everyone cooperate with one another, and also shows that he is willing to put aside his differences in order to work together, whilst Sarada is doing the opposite. So it definitely proves that if anyone is immature, it is her. So there is this point where they are all trying to deliver the scroll in order to change their team alignment, but my question is, why are you guys fighting when you are trying to achieve the same goal? So we get introduced to Mirai Sarutobi, and for those who don't know, she is actually the daughter of Asuma and Kurenai, and she is basically the woman who looks like she got a fake Sharingan, and she fights against Boruto. And the thing is that people actually think that she is, you know, far ahead of Boruto, but the thing is, even though she is Chunin, Boruto has the skill level of a Chunin. The thing is, I don't think Boruto can take her one-to-one, because she has Genjutsu, and Boruto has never dealt with anyone who can use Genjutsu at all, so he would directly fail. And the thing is that she actually takes on Sarada and wins by using Genjutsu. It is kind of ironic how an Uchiha loses to someone who can use Genjutsu. And the thing is that if you think about it, Mirai's mother is Kurenai, who tried to use Genjutsu on Itachi, who is related to Sarada, and the thing is, it worked. It's like Kurenai versus Itachi all over again, except this time it actually works. Mirai is about 3 years or so above them, and that is the reason why she is, you know, ahead of them, and she is Chunin, but that doesn't necessarily mean she's gonna win, and that is why she ends up losing, because she's fighting against the 3 prodigies of the entire academy. so far. The animation kind of looked weird in this episode, especially when Naruto was using his Biju mode in order to attack these Konoha who are apparently training in order to prevent the village from another attack. But from what it looks like, it's either these people are rookies or Konoha is seriously under the hands of weak Jonin. My best guess is that they just learned the barrier jutsu and they are trying to perfect it to make sure that they can use it effectively, and I think it would be best if they teach every single ninja how to use the barrier jutsu, so every single ninja is capable of saving the village when a barrier is needed. So Sarada has a final request, and her request to Naruto is that she wants them to be named the new Team 7, right? But the question is, ain't this a new show about a new generation? So why are they going back to the old generation, or why do they want the label or the name of the previous generation, which is Team 7? It's like Team 7 are legendary, and let's keep it that way, and let's make this Team Konohamaru, and let's see what Team Konohamaru can achieve, because we've already seen what Team 7 can achieve. And if this new Team 7 achieves something which is underwhelming compared to the other Team 7, then it's just kind of embarrassing. But at the same time, it's like we want to see something new instead of going back to the old generation. So I really didn't like the fact that they became the new Team 7. I was expecting Team Konohamaru instead of Team 7, because let's be honest, they are not Team 7. But yeah, that has been it for this review. If you have some spare time, check out the playlist of, things in Boruto that you missed, as well as Boruto In Depth, in which I talk about a lot of things as well as theories about Pakinski possibly having the Rinnegan and whatnot. And the thing is, I apologize to my subscribers for, barely making any videos this entire week, is because I'm busy with my acting stuff. I do have a life outside of YouTube, and I'm trying to pursue, my passion. So I do apologize for, not producing enough videos to entertain you guys for the week. But next week, I'm going to be back on my shit, as I always am. And with that being said, I have nothing more to say. Bye.